Good morning again from Crawfordsville High School and the Athenian baseball field. And this morning, a very special day, actually. We're going to have a ball game to start with, and we're going to have a lot of celebration as this is Alumni Day here at the Athenian baseball field. This is Dan Welver, along with Daryl Hobson, Austin Hickey. We'll try to keep all the pictures and sounds to your delight. This morning we have a beautiful day, better than most that we've had, 64 degrees currently. Wind out of the south-southeast at 8 miles an hour. So I have a record for Park Tudor coming into this ball game at 15-6. Your Athenians are currently 14-7 overall and 9-2 in that Sagamore Conference hunt. Daryl, big wins this week for the Athenians.
Yeah, 2 wins over county rival North Montgomery really set the Athenians up for a possible another conference championship. It's all going to come down to the last week of the season next week with 3 games, Frankfort, home and home game with Frankfort, and then the second game with Lebanon, which will be a big contest, a big challenge for the Athenians as well.
All right. Well, it's interesting, too, because Lebanon will be facing Danville, I believe, this upcoming week, which is the other team challenging for the conference championship.
And Danville lost last week, I saw a game.
Yes, they did. So, especially if Danville could at least split with Lebanon, if the Athenians take care of business against Frankfort, it would make it very, very interesting, obviously. Well, congratulations to the Athenians for the county championship.
Yes.
That's one under their belt. And so we'll hope that next week we'll bring them all the way to the top of the Sagamore Conference. Coaches meeting at home plate along with the umpires. We'll be ready to go here shortly. But I don't know. We might have Austin run over and put up a picture of the booklet in front of the camera before the day is over, but Susan Ehrlich has put together a fantastic book honoring Coach Froge, and really she's been taking pictures since I don't know when, but obviously she had sons playing in this program, and she's very familiar with it, and so she went to work and really has a great memorial book here. And if you're an Athenian fan especially, and you don't come out to the ball game today and get one, I would urge you to look around and see where a copy might be available. I was told there was like 200 copies, and we could use them all today for
Very
sure.
Well, good.
So I don't know whether there would ever be any more available or not. But I would again remind you that if you are not here today, I would seek out the opportunity to get one. Well, Daryl, Park Tudor comes in here as a kind of a familiar foe, mainly because the head coach is one Courtney Whitehead.
Only fitting that on Alumni Day that we would have 2 Crawfordsville alumni coaching each team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you, Courtney has done a great job, and he's also an athletic director besides being the coach over here in baseball. I found out, by the way, maybe this will be a surprise to you, but Father Bruce Whitehead is here also.
Well, I heard you say you were going to go talk to him, so I would look forward to seeing Bruce as well.
Bruce Whitehead, longtime athletic director here at Crawfordsville High School. Of course, prior to the athletic directorship, he was in the coaching world also. Had the privilege of playing a little bit of baseball and a lot of fast pitch softball with Bruce Whitehead. Now, I also note that there's an 8th grade young man down there that is Courtney Whitehead's son, and they're counting on him being the catcher for this ball club next year. And he's a good-sized young man, so he'll be ready. Well, Dave Raynard ready to go on the PA, and we're going to turn it over to him and get, I don't know what we're going to get besides starting lineup and the national anthem, but we're going to get that for sure.
Now, let's meet our starting lineups. First, For our guests from Indianapolis, Indiana, leading off the center fielder, number 12, Reese Kaiser. Batting second, the right fielder, number 17, Josh Bumpus. Batting third, the left fielder, number 24, CJ Richmond. Batting fourth, the starting pitcher, number 15, Peter Doobie. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 5, Alex Drix. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 21, Bryson Hobbs. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 11, Johnny Gallagher. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 4, Lucas Bassi. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 16, Johnny Curry. Curry will be hitting for starting third baseman, number 23, Mason Jennings. The Panthers are coached by Mr. Courtney Whitehead, Crawfordsville High School class of 1996. Now the starters for your Crawfordsville Athenians. Leading off, the center fielder, number 8, Andrew Martin. Batting second, the second baseman, number 2, Austin Moats. Batting third, the starting pitcher, number 12, Henry Taylor. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 23, Big Caleb Coons. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 11, Cale Corsi. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 4, Zach Pitcher. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 34, Bryce Dowell. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 16, Keegan Abney. Abney will be hitting for starting third baseman, number 21, Cale Weaver. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 6, Sam Decker.
Oh my.
Your Athenians are coached by Mr. Brett Moats. He is assisted by Rhett Welliver, Tony Bean, and Logan Meadows. Today's umpires, behind home plate, Mr. Chad Hodges, and on the bases, Mr. Jamie Ritter. At this time, please direct your attention to the American flag located in right field. The Crawfordsville Community School Corporation and the IHSAA invite you to proudly stand and remove your caps as we honor the United States of America. Let's play Athenian baseball. Hashtag for Luke. Ladies and gentlemen, today's game is being broadcast live on YouTube. If you know someone that wasn't able to make it out to the ballpark, give them a call. Let them know they can watch the action live as it happens on their computer, smartphone, tablet, or other connected device. Or if you'd like to watch a replay of today's game, log on to YouTube and subscribe to the Crawfordsville Athletics YouTube channel to enjoy replays.
Thank you.
Follow your Athenians all season long. You can also follow your Athenians on Instagram at Crawfordsville Baseball and on Twitter at AtheniansNation.com. If you'd like to share photos or videos from today's game on social media, please use the hashtag Alumni Day.
Well, thanks for the promo there, and we're about ready to play baseball. Your battery for today's game, or the Athenians, is Henry Taylor on the mound. Senior Henry Taylor throwing to senior Caleb Coons. We're going to have a kind of a crowded day here, I think, in some ways. Going to try to get a few interviews in, and we may kind of be talking over ourselves a little bit at times, but so be it. And we're really pleased to see so many Athenian baseball players have shown up. And I think we're probably going to interview the one that came the first. Adam Beam.
We would like to ask all of the alumni, baseball
He came from Seattle.
Seattle, yes, Seattle.
That's in Washington State.
It is.
That's way up there in that corner.
That's a long way away.
That's a long way. So far away, I've only been there once.
I've been there once as well. I actually have cousins that live north of Seattle. Got to visit them 10 years ago.
All right.
So hoping to go back again sometime.
All right, Kaiser stepping in for the Park Tudor.
Oh,
here's a
now that's something you don't see very often.
I was going to say, this is going the wrong way here. We've got a softball on the baseball field. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Payback. Hey, Taylor comes in. Henry with a 3.55 ERA.
First pitch,
3-1 on the season. 7 appearances.
Okay, first pitch in for a strike. 11:03 the official starting time. Here's the next pitch. The breaker stays high.
Henry's got 26 Ks and 8 walks. Been very effective.
Next pitch swung on and missed.
Nice off-speed pitch there.
Your game time forecast, it is currently 56 degrees. The wind is out of the south at 8 miles per hour.
Breaking ball swung on and missed. So first man up, first man down.
The right fielder, Josh Bumpus.
All right, that'll bring up Josh Bumpus. He's the right fielder. Pitch high. We noticed today that Cale Weimer is playing third base. However, he's out of the batting order tonight. Here's the next pitch right there for a strike. Cale sustained a little injury actually Tuesday evening, and really next pitch too high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Really had to battle to get through that ball game Wednesday night as he had to come in and relieve Caleb Coons. He was hit on the leg and been pretty bothersome, so he had a lot of grit to get through that. 3-1 now. Henry needs a strike right here. And that one.
He kind of leaned into that.
He did lean in a bit, but we're going to have a hit batter and bump us down to first base.
Bumpus is a sophomore.
Right fielder, C.J. Richmond.
C.J. Richmond steps in, another left-handed hitter here, a slightly larger young man.
He's a senior, like you said. Intimidating force up there, that left-handed bat.
The ball gets loose, but Caleb keeps it in front of him. No advancement. Bright sunshine right now. Beautiful day. Here's the pitch. Oh, that
slipped out of his hand there.
Yeah, it didn't get out right. Well, 2-0. Coach Welliver indicating to Henry Taylor, don't worry about the runner. Here's the pitch. Here's a high fly ball. Right fielder didn't get a break on it.
That's going to be tough. His center fielder can't find it.
Oh, my. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened there. That was very unusual. It's very possible sun on that one is what happened to Andrew out there. Something we haven't seen all season long. Decker went a long way to try to run it down, give him a lot of credit, and the wind kept blowing the ball away from him.
Yeah, Andrew just never, like you said, must have lost it. We do have some high clouds, and he just could not find it.
All right, runners at first and second, 1 down. Here's the pitch down. Runner off out, and wisely Caleb, by the time he corralled the ball, held up, and if he got a hold of it in a hurry, I think we had a play as Bumpus had jumped on down almost to the shortstop position. Here's the pitch. This one also is down, so Henry down on the count, 2-0.
You know, back to that hit by Richmond. He hit that. You could tell by the sound that he hit it on the sweet spot, but it was a home run straight up, though.
Yeah.
Home, not quite in a silo, but, man, it was a towering.
Here's 3 balls and no strikes as Henry can't get the fastball. Here's a pitch. That's right there for a strike. Oh, no, I take that back. We looking at it, hit the middle of the plate, I think, but it was apparently
Must have been
down
down, I think.
Yep. So sacks packed right away here for Park Tudor.
This is Drix.
Drake's, he's squares the bunt, but he's not really taking all the way.
Well, if he does bunt, I hope he bunts one right back to the pitcher so we can get a 1-2-3 double play maybe.
Drix is a catcher for Park Tudor. He's checking down with Coach Whitehead.
Another senior on this ball club.
Here's a pitch. This one's too high for a ball. So Henry having trouble now. Part of it not to his making, but here we go. Situation. This one's there for a strike over the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's a pitch down, so 3-1. So in their worst way, Henry needs a strike right here. A kind ground ball would be the order of the day for the Athenians. Here's a pitch. This is ball 4 too high. Henry just out of sorts out there. So Park Tudor dents the board here early and has only 1 down.
The first baseman, Bryson Hobbs.
First baseman Bryson Hobbs to the plate. Another good-sized young man because we know how big Caleb is. This man steps in at about the same height but carrying a few more pounds.
And he's just a sophomore.
Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back. That was good news to get a swing there.
He found the plate, that's for sure, too. Good pitch. Right on the outer. Hobbs is back off the plate a little.
It's a breaking ball for a strike. Probably like a little better location on that breaking ball, but it was good enough right there.
Yeah.
0-2, pitcher's pitch here. Big breaker there, strike 3. Took a little off of that one and put it on the inner part of the plate. So a big out there for Henry Taylor.
Shortstop, Johnny Gallagher.
Number 11, Johnny Gallagher to the plate. He is the shortstop. Panthers, again, come in at 15-6 and certainly coming in and looking like a winning ball club here right away. Here's the pitch, ground ball up the middle. That'll be right around the bag, and Moats steps on the bag, and that'll end inning number 1. So minimal damage as Park Tudor comes up with 1 run and 1 hit. And that hit was, I don't know, I won't use the term tainted, but it was one that normally would not have been a hit with center fielder Andrew Martin. But either the high sky or possible sun at this time of day. Anyway, that allows the Panthers to get on the board.
Well, Andrew's been just almost magical out there and solid all season. So unfortunate there for the Athenians, but very fortunate to get out of that with only 1 run.
Absolutely, yeah. Had to face, in the end, maybe 3 batters with bases loaded.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see if the Athenians can fight back now. I say let's keep the winning ways going. We've had a week of wins and don't want to stop now. We might mention on that schedule, next Monday will be the home game against the Hot Dogs. So we'll be on at 6 o'clock next Monday, and then I believe it's a Friday game at Lebanon. I don't know that we have done some games from there, so I don't think we have it currently scheduled, but I would, if I'm an Athenian fan sitting at home, I might double check just to see what the possibility would be.
Yeah, we've tried some there, but I just know in the past we haven't been able to get a good cell signal there.
No. Well, and they've kind of changed the rotation. We used to do Frankfurt at Frankfurt because it was on Saturday, and that is gone by the wayside. So, but nevertheless, like I say, that could come down to the conference championship game, and so you might want to double check and see if it's possible that we could be on. The starting pitcher for the Panthers is Doobie, and the catcher is Drix, and so D&D, the battery. And no change in the Athenian lineup on the top part, as we'll start off with Martin, Moats, and Taylor.
Andrew Martin.
Doobie, Peter Doobie, a junior pitcher for Park Tudor.
Third baseman in on the grass as Martin takes the first pitch for a strike. Fastball right around the knees. Here's a fastball wide.
He does have a little velo on that fastball too, it looks like, Dan.
Yeah, it's pretty honest. We don't have our gun up here. Here's a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andrew Martin, the Athenian hitter. Andrew's really had a good season both in the field and at bat. Here's the pitch. This one's taken just a little bit low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good eye by Andrew because that's getting close.
Time to protect the plate here. Oh, my. Well, maybe not that wide. That ball quite a bit off the plate, but Andrew got all strung out and swung and missed. So 1 down for the Athenians, and that'll bring up second baseman Austin Moats.
Well, Austin's last plate appearance was a big one for him up at North Montgomery.
Biggest of the season, I'd say. Here's the pitch. Strike. This young man, Doobie, throwing nothing but strikes right now.
Yeah. Austin with that bases loaded triple with 2 outs and 2 strikes, I think, against him. Big hit.
This one's inside. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of familiar, we won't call them old Athenian fans, but folks we haven't seen in a while. Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss. The ball, I think, probably was a little bit off the corner. Austin swings and misses. I tell you what, he's more comfortable this year with the ball a little further to the inside. Here it comes. Swung on a miss, and that one was probably just to the inside. And Austin had a good swing, didn't get cheated, but goes down swinging. So quickly, 2 down for the Athenians.
Taylor.
Got to bring up Henry Taylor. Henry, I know he's the big RBI man for the Athenians, leads them in doubles and not sure what else. Here's a fastball, strike 1. Well, this velocity that we're seeing is more than we've seen in a few games.
Yeah.
I think we've seen it before, but not in a while. Here's a pitch that's down. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Taylor batting .408 on the year, so having a very good year at the plate.
Here's a ball fouled back, and apparently got caught by something other than the softball field.
Yeah, Henry with 20 hits, tied for the lead in that category with Martin.
Here's pitch outside. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We got 2 outs. Never too late for a 2-out rally. This one's fouled back into the net. Count remains 2-2. Caleb Coons waiting on deck, hoping to get a chance here in the first inning. Here's the ball taken out of play to the right side and maybe to the softball field. Pitch down. Young man works out of the stretch apparently all the time, so he won't recognize a change if the Athenians can get a runner on here. Full count, 3-2. Henry Taylor waiting. Breaking ball stays high, and he'll move on down to first base, and Caleb Coons comes to the plate.
Really good at bat there by Henry. 8 pitches on that at bat, and he recognized and commanded the strike zone, fouled off the ones that were close, and
the catcher, Caleb.
See if I can get us a 2-out rally going here.
Well, Caleb has hit a few balls hard this season, but he's never elevated one. This would be a great time.
Yeah, he's batting .327 coming in.
He chases that one. I believe that. I tell you, I'm not sure what the pitch was. It looked more like a slider. At least it wasn't the same velocity as his hard fastball we'd seen earlier, but Caleb kind of chasing there. Here's the next pitch. Good swing, foul back to the net. That ball was in a good hitting zone. But Caleb down on the count, 0-2. Cale Corsi on deck for the Athenians. Coach Moats runs through the signals, but I don't think Henry will be running here. Let's see. Here's another ball fouled back and clear of everybody back behind us. Well, today is this is a day of food, fans, and friends here out here at the old ballpark. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. Swung on and missed. Had that breaking ball in a great location.
No runs, no hits.
Really, Caleb about had to go for it. It was very close to the outside corner. Let's put it that way. So for the Athenians, no runs,
Crawfordsville Athenian baseball.
no hits. They did have one runner left on base.
The Athenians had 14
Here is an
winning
announcement.
seasons from 1957 to 1979, including 4 of them during the tenure of current head coach Brett Moats' dad, Larry Moats, who was the head coach at CHS from 1968 to 1975. Coach Mike Moats compiled a total of 68 wins. Other Athenian coaches during this time included Tommy Thompson, Jim Calvin, Mike Ayers, and Mike Muterspaw. The Athenians won the conference in 1978 and the sectional in 1967, 1970, 1971, and 1974. And produced their first Indiana All-Star, Darman Brown, in 1978. We would like to recognize 2 special alumni that are in attendance today. From the class of 1947, Ralph the Bulldog Elliott. And from the class of 1967, Mike Dowell. Thank you, Ralph and Mike, for being here today.
I'm looking for Adam, but I don't see him. All right, throw down by Caleb Coons. About ready to go here, inning number 2. We also have softball underway today. Athenians down as I look by a score of 10-6.
Panthers, the second baseman, Lucas Bassi.
Lucas Bassi steps in for the Panthers, playing second base. This one's inside.
There he is.
Here's a pitch taken for ball. I think the board got faked there. Here's a strike. I believe he was called the ball. He flinched a little bit like it was going to be a strike, but I believe the correct count, even though the board says 1-1, 2-1, and I think that's 3-1 right there.
Correct.
So, Adam, come on up. Here's the ball foul back.
Yep. Well, Adam, you want to stand or sit? I'll give you the choice.
I'll stand up.
I'll stand too then. Good to see you here.
Good to see
There's
you.
There's a ground ball to Moats and throws over to first for the out. So we were talking about, we think you probably came the longest distance to get here.
Yeah.
All the way from Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, I don't know the mileage, but I'm glad to be back. First time I've been back to see the family since Christmas, and it's great to be back here in this venue and hang out with everyone, see everyone that I haven't seen in years.
So fill us in. What's going on in your life now? I know you've been married for probably a couple years. Or
married for 3 years now. We no kids, but we just got a dog a few months ago, so we're having fun with that. My wife is a flight attendant, so she just went back to work after taking a year off. So yeah, that's our life now. It's pretty crazy. I'm doing medical device sales out there in the Tacoma area, and we love it. It's a beautiful area.
So did you have any help with your flight here then?
A little bit. Flew standby, so I wasn't sure if I was going to go on the flight, but luckily I made it here.
The center fielder, Reese Kaiser.
Well, I know you spent a few years down in Nashville right after graduation.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. I took a job down there with Stryker right out of college and spent 2 years down there. Met who is now my wife a month after I moved there, so that was a pretty good move.
Yeah.
And then we got married a couple years later and moved out to Seattle very shortly after that.
So have you been down to the fish market in Seattle?
Yeah, we've been there a few times. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, they still throw the fish. It's not quite as crowded now with all the COVID stuff going on, but last time we were there, they were still throwing the fish, and it's still a fun time to be out there. Good tourist trap.
And I think you have to drink Starbucks coffee when you're there too, right?
There's more coffee there than I've ever seen in my life. It's good stuff, though. We like it a lot.
Well, we were out there 10 years ago, and actually, what's the duck? The ride that had the what are those called? I can't think what they're called.
I can't remember the name. The little boat thing.
Yeah, the one they had the trouble with in St. Louis. We rode the one out in Seattle and drove right in the water. And
yep, I've seen that done. I've never done it myself, though.
We saw houseboats, or houses, I guess, or floating houses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of floating houses out there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of marine life out there that I'm not used to. Growing up in Crawfordsville, I was not around much salt water, but live right on Puget Sound now, and saw whales from our living room last summer, so that was pretty neat.
Well, you look like you're really fit. So what's your secret to success here?
I after I was done playing competitive baseball, I needed something else to do, so I started doing CrossFit.
Okay.
So I've continued working out. My whole life just playing sports and stuff. Working out was just part of the sport, but once you're done with competitive sports, you got to stay fit somehow. So CrossFit was a good way to keep working out, but it also brings the competitive edge back into it. So
absolutely,
it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's the third out of the inning there. So Crawfordsville Henry with a good inning there that time. Had a little trouble in the first inning there finding, actually not so much. He did throw a few more balls and strikes, but then we talked about the misplayed fly ball caused him to have to throw a few more pitches that inning. But so you mentioned this. I know you've been back to Crawfordsville a few times, but is this your first alumni game, or have you been back for any?
You know, I think I may have been back for alumni game shortly after I graduated, but it's been several years since I've actually made it here for any game. You know, I probably came back a few times for some of Brian's games when he was still playing, but after going into playing ball at Wabash and then moving to Nashville and then out to Seattle, it's just different priorities start taking place when you start growing up.
Well, let's go back to 2011. That was really a magical run for that team.
That was funny.
My wife and I have talked about, and Dan, I set up here and did the collar for the West Lafayette game.
Yeah.
Do you remember that West Lafayette game? How ugly that was.
Yeah.
And I've sat here and thought, holy cow, what is going to happen with this team?
Yeah.
Well, that seemed to be like the turning point, because it seemed like after that the bats really came to life.
They did. I was just looking through all the stats in 2011. A lot of home runs that year.
Yeah. So. It just became. I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, I don't know what it was for you like as a player, but as a fan and a coach, I'd never seen a team hit like that. I mean, it was just phenomenal.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, the hitting was great. The pitching was great, too. It was just all around a great team and great camaraderie, because we really just the energy kind of fed off the community support, too. You know, we've got a great venue here, and everyone just gets into it. Especially, after winning the game at Victory Field, just, riding a fire truck around downtown, that really shows you how much the community gets into it. So,
yes.
It was a really fun run and great memories there. Told my wife about it a lot and wish that she could have been back to see this game and stuff. She would, like I said, just went back to work after not working for a year. But, it's just so much fun to be here and see everyone, and just a lot of great memories on this field.
Crail Corsi leading things off for the Athenians here now, 2 balls and a strike to him. So one final question for you then. In 2011, you were the Trester Award winner for 3A baseball. There's a striker on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tell us about that. What was that moment like? Or did you know any clue going in that you might get that? Or
I had no idea that it was going to be me. I only knew that it was an award just because Justin Wright had won it, 3 years prior?
2008.
2008. So I know it was given out to someone after that game, but my goal that day was just winning the game. And so after the dog pile, I kind of in the back of my mind had that coming up, and I was like, okay, well, who's it going to be this year?
Yeah.
And it goes to somebody who's usually fairly humble and stuff, so I wasn't really thinking about it too much at all, but it was a great moment for myself and the whole family, just to go out there. Kind of fun being on the Jumbotron with the big check that they give you, But it was just really humbling experience, and just really glad to represent in that way.
well, the strikeout on the breaking ball that catches the outside corner to Corsi. That'll bring up number 4 for the Athenians. This is Zach Fitcher, I'm sorry. 2 balls and no strikes. Okay, well, any parting words that you want to say before I don't have any more questions to ask you. So
no, that's all right. I just appreciate all of you setting all this up and having all the alumni come out. I know it's a big deal for Coach Froge, and 10-year anniversary of the state championship, and it's fun to see all the familiar faces and see how much we've all aged over the years. But I just hope that these guys out here, try to meet some of the alumni and, hear some words of wisdom. And because, I learned a lot of valuable life lessons on this field, and it really does carry over into the rest of your life. A lot of great things happen here. So I hope these younger guys realize that and, try to find a good role model and try to emulate that. So.
Well said. Well said. That's one thing about Coach Froge. That's what he really, believe it or not, wanted to develop more young men more than baseball players. So
exactly.
That's good to hear. So thanks for those encouraging words. So Adam, we'll look forward to seeing you'll be introduced after this game as a team or individually, your whole team. So we'll look forward to that. So thanks
Perfect.
again for taking time out to visit with us here.
All right. Thanks, Dale.
All right. Have a good afternoon.
Hey, good to see you.
I don't know.
Actually, I asked him. And I actually asked him to look up Justin Wright because he won the same award
Yes. Yeah.
in championship team.
Yep. Yeah, Adam pointed that out, that Justin Wright was the 2008 winner for that same award. So
2 down here in the bottom of the second inning. Athenians trailing 1-0. Here's the pitch taken outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Athenians still looking for the first base runner. Dowell at the plate. Bryce, here's a one hopper
Good
pass
job.
to the shortstop.
Wow.
Out on the end of the bat a little bit, stretched all out there, but he put bat on the ball. Good things happens when you do that.
yeah. There's Justin Wright. We were just talking about we could have back-to-back Trester Award winners here, I guess, on the Adam was up here a moment ago. Yeah. Yeah. So now Keaton Abdi at the plate with 2 down here in the bottom of the second. High fastball. So we've got Justin Wright on the headset here now. We've have back-to-back Trester Award winners. Justin won the award in 2008 on the championship team. 13 years ago now, I guess.
Holy cow.
Does that seem possible?
No, not at all. Feel old.
Well, fill us in, Justin. What's going on in your world now?
Oh, right now I work for a book publishing company called right here in town, Penguin Random House. But I'm wanting to stay with the company and move locations. So I don't know, maybe there's a location in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
But that cost of living is really high, so I might go to Maryland. There's a Maryland location.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, so really far east or west, I don't know which one.
High fastball gets to the backstop, so that allows Dow to move down to second on the wild pitch, and Abney takes the 2-0 pitch for, they show 3-1 on the board. I've kind of lost track of the count here. Maybe that was a 3-0 pitch he was taking. There's one on outside corner, strike 2. A hit here would get us a run in. Justin, we were talking about the 2011 championship team had just a tremendous offense. They had good pitching too, but they had like the most phenomenal offense I think we've ever seen as Abney swings at strike 3. So the Athenians are held scoreless here in the second inning as well. The 2008 championship team, though, really the dominating thing there was pitching.
Yes.
If you look at the statistics, the three top all-time strikeout leaders for their careers.
It really began to take shape with the hiring of head coach John Roach in 1982. During the 80s, the Athenians compiled 122 wins, including 5 15-win seasons, which had never been done prior to 1982. The Athenians won the Sagamore Athletic Conference in 1982 and 1986. Some alumni with us here today from the 80s, from the class of 1983, Craig Warburton. From the class of 1985, Brian Purcell. From the class of 1987, Chris Arvin, Tony Bean, Kevin Gallagher, Kevin Kellerman, and Christopher Kincaid, representing his dad, the manager, Scott Kincaid. Thank you to our alumni for attending from the 1980s.
I hope you can hear that at home between innings. They're giving some history on Athenian baseball. So anyway, we were talking about pitching, the top 3 strikeout career leaders in pitching, but then your team also had good offense, great defense when they did hit the ball. Now, what was that like when you're playing behind some guys that are striking out so many pitchers? You got to be ready when they do finally put a bat on a ball.
Yeah, you do. You have to be even more on your toes than normal because you can get kind of lulled to sleep out there with Cam and Swart and Steven and everybody. And
boy,
wow.
Speaking of long hits, that Andrew Martin took about one step and stopped because he could see he wasn't going to be able to track that one down. He hit it where nobody was going to get it. That's the young man that hit it. His first at bat, hit it about 400 feet up in the air, I think. But so yeah, you staying on your toes out there. I mean, you made some great catches out there in right field. We were talking about in the state championship game that like everybody but one. There was one out made by everybody because there were 17 strikeouts by the pitchers, and we had one drop third strike. So we actually had to get 22 outs.
Yeah.
But everybody, when they had a chance to make a play, made a play. And I know you made the catch out in right field with the sun was such an issue that day. And a lot of right fielders or a lot of outfielders had trouble throughout the day, but you made a nice catch out there in right field when you had the opportunity.
Yeah, I was actually pretty nervous about getting the sun ball because the game right before us, that Bishop Lures game, I think a kid lost it in the sun. Oh, side note, I think that Lures team had Kevin Kiermaier on the team, who's now a Gold Glove center fielder for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
So we played right after Kiermaier. But, yeah, so I was actually nervous about getting the sun ball. And, of course, I get a sun ball. And I remember Cameron points right up in the air. So he let me know it was up, and so I knew it was up there. So I just put my glove up, and I just waited for it to come out of the sun.
Oh.
And, of course, this little black speck comes out eventually, and I was lucky to be under it.
That's a great side note to the game, yeah. So going into that year then really, I think you guys kind of felt confident really throughout the whole year, like this. I mean, you'd come close, the year before really. Got it lost on a fluke play here in the regionals.
Oh yeah.
I say come close, but felt like we had the team that could have won state that year as well.
Definitely.
But I think that confidence that you guys showed, and as far as a team, I mean, talk a little bit of the importance of a team. And there's a foul ball on the attempted bump. How close was your team that year?
We were really close, and I think that doesn't get appreciated enough when you talk about chemistry. A lot of people just think you got to have lots of good players, but the players have to gel together also. Like, you've got to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be friends in the dugout, friends in the locker room, friends off the field. Like, you've got to get along and like trust each other, and you've got to like each other to have success, aside from just having a lot of talent. And we were all buddies. We had inside jokes. We had nicknames. There's definitely a lot of camaraderie that helped that season out.
Well, you played a lot of baseball in all your career here through Crawfordsville. Going back to, I know, first opportunity I got to coach you was 12 and under. I think we were were we the Yankees that year, or were we the Mariners or something?
Yeah, I think there was a couple different seasons. Mariners, Yankees, Diamondbacks one year.
But what's your greatest memory, I guess, from your time involved with Crawfordsville baseball?
Oh man, that's a lot.
Or maybe your top, just doesn't have to be your greatest, but just something that really stands out to you that.
Oh man, I have to think. I mean, winning state was, definitely kind of the top. I remember looking up YouTube videos that week leading up to the state championship about dog piles. I was watching all these great dog pile videos, and so I knew coming from the outfield, I was going to be on the top of the dog pile. So I knew I was going to jump really high. And I got to the dog pile, and I actually over-jumped it. And I barrel rolled into Coach Moats' legs, and he almost, I think, tore an ACL or something. He had to step over me. But, yeah, the state was the best memory. But overall, I think my favorite baseball memories, other than that, would probably just be memories with my dad and my brother. Just, everyone has those memories of growing up playing catch with their siblings and their parents. And my mom and dad would always take us out, pitching and hitting and catching. And I think that's awesome, just how all these players, they've all got history with their families that brought them up on baseball.
His grandpa was a great player.
Yes.
Oh, Barney.
Yeah. Well, there was a great pitch on that pop fly or over to first base for the second out, but then followed up with a nice dry into left field there. At the plate now, there's a curveball to even the count of this ball and a strike. This is Bassey, the number 9 hitter. So, Justin, there's a fly ball, should be caught. Second baseman out. Moats makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So they do get 1 run that inning. So put the Panthers up 2-0 now. The 1 run coming on the big home run. So Justin, your words of encouragement. I'm out of questions. So anything that you would like to pass along?
I think just have fun. Just have fun, and no matter how the season ends, whether you win state, you get put out first game of sectionals. We have lots of good teams that have been put out early in sectionals here, but no matter what you do with postseason success, just focus on the memories with your friends and your coaches and all that. Like I was talking about camaraderie earlier. Just worry about just have fun and cherish all the season, the ride. Your season is not defined by how far you get in the postseason tournament. Just have fun and play your best, and just don't let your postseason where you end up be how you think of how you gauge your baseball career.
Well said. Yeah, you want to just be defined by who you are and not what kind of success you may have had or had not.
Exactly.
At the end. So well said. Well, Justin, thank you so much for taking time out.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you being here today, and look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, guys.
Don't forget to come back.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Man, our papers are blown away.
Yeah.
Will I get Jake? Jake's down there. We got Jake.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Hey, Jake. You got a minute?
Bottom of third, Athenians trailing here 2-0. Coming to bat with the bottom of the order, Jake Decker.
Does Olivia need to come and put words in your mouth?
Yeah, I know, just have my bug in my ear.
Dan, I've got Jake up here if you want. Do you want to interview him? You want me to?
Go ahead. I like this rhythm. I'll give him the headset and we'll go with it.
All right, Decker leading off here for the Athenians in the bottom of third, down 2-0.
Oh, I think you're stepping on the court here. There we go.
We've got, there's ball 1 high. We've got Jake Zyrowski up here now. 2013 graduate, was a sophomore on the 2011 state championship team.
That's right.
And boy, what a year! You're a big part of that offense. I'm going to talk offense because we were talking about this West Lafayette game we did here where we just were atrocious. But then it seemed like after that West Lafayette game, the bats came to life.
Yeah.
And you guys were just like success breeded success, confidence breeded confidence, and it's like everybody that stepped up to the plate just got a hit.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that West Lafayette. We lost like 28-0 or something. It wasn't that bad, but it was something
18-1 or something like that, I think.
It was insane.
It ain't that bad because I've got the record. 1956, Lebanon beat us 25-1.
Okay, yeah.
No 10-run rule.
All right, yeah. So it wasn't that. But, yeah, man, that year was amazing, just how everyone rallied around each other. And we knew what we wanted to do. We kept saying just win the last game of the season, and we ended up doing it.
Yeah. Andrew Martin now at the plate for his second at bat, swings at strike 2. So, I mean, I remember going down to North Putnam and playing the game down there, and you guys everybody hit the fence, it seemed like. Some hit it over, some hit it.
Yeah.
It was just almost scary, really. And that's how that whole year was just like, I'd never seen anything like it. I mean, I've not seen a lot of baseball, but I've seen my fair share. But I had never seen a team that came on like that team did that year, and it was just amazing to sit here and watch it. It was so exciting.
Yep.
And, of course, then, you guys just kind of walked right through the sectional. I'm trying to remember, probably the semi-state game down at Plainfield would have been the most because you were behind.
Yeah, we were
behind in that game, and then Jordan Kiger in like a 4th or 5th inning probably it was, hits that 3-run home run, and that just kind of propelled us from there, and then we just went on.
Yeah. Man, all of those games in that postseason were just so exciting. And like even in the beginning of the state game too, we were down, and Coach Fro just came out to the mound and gave us a little whisper yell that he always does. Yeah. And we were like, all right, let's do this thing. And then there goes Chris Minks hitting 2 bombs. Olivia and I were actually just watching the highlights the other day. And I still get the tingles every time I see all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, even 10 years later.
Yeah.
Moats up the plate now with 2 outs, a ball and a strike to him. The lefty looking to try and get something going here for Crawfordsville. So you mentioned being down in that state championship game, and then Chris getting the thing that stands out in my mind so much was after he hit that home run, the pitcher came over there and stood right in the third base line, and I'm thinking, dude, he just did something against you that isn't done here at hardly at all, and you're doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on, but. Then he tried, maybe it was you. Somebody had a bunt down the.
That was Alex.
Alex, yeah. And he tried to trip Alex when he went by.
Yeah.
I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
I was glad when we got to kick him out of the game.
Oh. So your time at Crawfordsville baseball, and then of course we can't overlook. I wasn't there in 2013 because Joel had graduated and I was following Cameron so much. But you guys had a good tournament run your senior year as well.
Yeah, we went to semi-state.
Yeah.
And then Jasper, they really had a number there.
And I think they went on to win. Is that the year they went on to win?
I'm trying to remember if they won or.
The 90s.
Oh, hold on a minute. I want to hear this.
500 record of 12-12 in 1990. But in the 9 years to follow, your Athenians averaged 23 wins per season, including an extraordinary 30-win season in 1995. In total, the Athenians compiled an overall record of 220 wins and 75 losses. The 90s included 7 Sagamore Athletic Conference championships, 4 sectional titles, and 1 regional title in 1995. Matt McCarty and Brett Moats were each named to both the Indiana All-Star team and the All-State team. Of course, Matt McCarty went on to play in the LA Dodgers organization, and Coach Moats had a stellar career at the University of Evansville. We have alumni with us today from the 90s. From the class of 1991, John Cummins. From the class of 92, Aaron Utes, manager. The class of 93, Shane Powell. The class of 95, Brett Moats and Brian Lynn.
Okay, that's again Dave Renner going through the 90s, we're getting close to your era,
That's
Jake.
right.
From the 90s, from 96, Rob Bowers. And also Courtney.
So anyway, your team had a good run in 2013, and then there's a fly ball back behind third base. Shortstop Corsi comes over to make the catch.
Class of 1999, Matt Carlson
So
and Brandon Froese.
your time at Crawford. Well, first,
Thank you to those.
bring me up to date. I mean, I know. Bring all of us up to date on what's going on in your life. Obviously, you go ahead. You tell your story.
Yeah, I am married to a fellow Crawfordsville alumni, Olivia. We've been married for almost 4 years now. It'll be 4 years May 20th, so that's coming up.
Yeah.
We live in Greenwood on the south side of Indy. I work for a church, Redeemer Bible Church, actually with Brock Graham and DJ Blatherwick. Those guys used to be in Crawfordsville as well, and so I'm the Creative Arts and Communications Director there. So I get to do a lot of like graphic design, video stuff, website, all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's us. Olivia owns a web design business and does that full time. So yeah, things are good.
Yeah. Well, of course, Brock was involved with the team.
Yeah.
As the what would you call his title with the team?
Yeah, I guess he was like the chaplain or something.
Yeah, that's what
maybe?
I was thinking. The best I could come up with. But
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the dugout during the state championship game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's great. So, well, that's good to hear. I mean, that's just awesome to see what you've gone on to do.
Yeah.
There's a fly ball that's going to be, I think, yeah, it did stay fair. Boy, the wind kept that in, and it's held to a single. I'm not sure why.
I think his helmet fell off.
The longest single
Yep.
that you'll probably ever see.
Yeah.
So, put you on the spot here, ask you a question. What, from your time at involved in Crawfordsville baseball, what stands out
Yeah.
the most or in your mind?
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, state is a big thing, but that feels like a cop-out. So one of my favorite memories is my freshman year. A.J. Ehrlich was pitching against Danville, and I played third base.
At Danville.
At Danville. And he threw a perfect game, and I had the first and the last out of that game. So that was the most scared I'd ever been in my entire life when that last ground ball came my way.
And
But
it was
that
a
was
close
good.
play, too, if I recall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was at that game. Yeah, I remember that. I didn't realize that you put that on your form about your unique experience, and I didn't realize you had the first and the last out. So
yeah, the first one was just an easy pop-up, so that one wasn't bad, but the last one was very stressful.
well, any other thing you'd like to say? I'm about out of questions, I guess.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's good to be here. It's fun to be back at the park. I think this is my first time back since graduating. So.
Oh wow.
So it's cool just to see.
Yeah.
I mean, even the field has changed and everything looks nice, and so.
Yeah,
it's good to be back.
Let's see. Were you the wall? You graduated before the wall was
Yeah,
put
I think
in,
it was
weren't
like a year or two after I graduated that they put this in. It always seems that way. Once you leave, things get nicer.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do. It takes a lot of time to get things done. But,
for sure.
Yeah, and then we've got the new entrance out front too. So a lot of things look different.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Well, Jake, we're glad you made it back. Thanks so much for taking time out, come up here and visit with us, and we'll look to hearing you your introduction after this game on the field. Then
sounds good.
All right, take care.
The pitcher, Peter Doobie.
Well, this is the pitcher.
Yes.
I believe batting, Doobie.
Runners at first and second and 2 down.
I'm sorry, we're doing a lot of talking, and I'm not really filling in on what's going to get. There's a fly ball. Could be stay in play. Fell right in between Coons and Dow.
Yeah, not to be criticizing the play, but I think that might be a little bit of a case of where your young freshman first baseman kind of bailed out a little bit to let the senior catcher go for it. And I really think it's an easier play for the first baseman right there.
Yeah.
Would have been a tough catch anyway. So.
Well, the wind definitely doing a little bit with the ball. Right off of Henry's glove. It's going to be a tough play. Oh, and it gets by. That's going to let a run score. There's another example. Really probably wasn't young youth, sophomore to a freshman. Probably wasn't going to get that out. And then as a first baseman there, you can't let that ball get by you. If there's not a chance on the plate, and that comes from experience, knowing that, but you just come off and block it, so the ball doesn't get
The
by
catcher,
you.
Alex
Gives up an
Ricks.
easy run. That's unfortunate. This right off of Henry's glove. He almost got it on the bounce, but was unable to. There's a nice curve ball. The runner advances to second on the throw. So runners at second and third now with 2 outs here. 3-0 Park Tudor. The Athenians setting themselves up. They're going to have another comeback. There's a nice breaking ball for a strike 2. They've done that a few times this year.
That's for sure. Well, yeah, we don't need to get a hole any deeper here.
There's a fly ball. Nobody's going to get to that, and it's right inside the fence, but just hit where nobody could get to it. Well, the softball game, Athenians are down 12-8 in the 7th. Ground ball right up the middle. That's going to allow 2 runs to score. Well, a lot of things went wrong on that play there, Dan, as far as coverage and everything, but
yeah, Panthers come up with 3 runs already this inning.
The first baseman, Bryson Hobbs.
Hobbs at the plate now, so the crooked number for the Panthers as their strike 1 on the outside corner. Number 21. This is Hobbs, I guess, isn't it?
Yep.
After Drix. Drix who's got the hit up the middle, the catcher.
Wow, same place.
There's another ball hit solidly up the middle. Martin corrals that, throws it over to Corsi to hold the runner at second. So the Panthers starting to hit the ball a little bit here this inning.
The shortstop, Johnny Gallagher.
Top of the 4th, Athenians down 5-0 here. There's a nice breaking ball swing. Well, he didn't signal a strike. Jeez, the umpire must have blinked or something. Took a long blink on that one, Dan. It is a strike. He checks with his comrade out in the field. There's a bouncer in, evens a call to ball and a strike.
The board got confused by that first one. They're still off
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
1-1.
Henry with the delivery. There's a nice breaking ball.
That looked good.
Man,
didn't
it looked like it caught the plate. That was better than the one he swung at. 2 balls and a strike now. There's a ground ball hit right up the middle once again. That's going to have a possible play. Nope. I'm a little concerned with Henry's not moving off the mound. He's not backing up. He's not been moving to back up home. We had a potential play there, and he's been the cutoff man on the last 2 hits. The coaching staff reminded him of his responsibilities, I see from the dugout. So. I'm sorry, the coach in me just picks up on that stuff, I guess, Dan, but
got to do it. Well, Bassey at the plate represents the 9th hitter here in the 4th inning for the Panthers.
There's a fastball high. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at first and second. 4 runs in already this inning.
Yeah, I wanted to get Henry through this thing, I'm sure.
There's a nice pitch right on the inside corner, strike 1.
Get to the bag.
Oh, can't get to it. That bounces up past Moats. That's going to score another run. A game of inches. Think about Henry's, the ball that Henry could have picked up maybe.
He's been involved in 3 now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, 2 or 3. I think this guy, Henry's got a rubber arm, but I think there's some weirdness hitting him about now. I remember in summer ball of 2019, I can tell you how many pitches and how many innings he threw in a little tournament at Wabash College.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a foul ball that landed over in the picnic area, but luckily missed all the fans. There's quite a few people over there taking advantage of the smoker over there. Ball and a strike. That's going to be in the gap.
Ball.
Cut off. Got the guy rounded it. Oh, we can't go back to him. The guy at third rounded the base a little bit, but unable to get something there. So
that young man's Curry, 2 base hits in the inning.
He's earning his pay as the DH. So runners at second and third now. Back to the top of the order for the center fielder, Kaiser. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Henry, wow, almost hits him way inside there. Breaking ball right on the outside corner, strike one. A ball and a strike now. Yeah, this inning has just been a disaster. 6 runs already. Strike 2 now. So Henry with the advantage here, a ball and 2 strikes.
Come on now. I'll give you a break.
Henry with the pitch. Ball inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Sit down if you like.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to welcome in Craig Warburton. Craig, ex-Athenian, obviously, and many people may remember him playing for quite a long while with the Eagles here. Another drive, and Park Tudor having the way right now.
Yeah, good to be here, Dan. It really is.
I will, rather than I will tell everyone what year you graduated in, I'll let you give us the year and your experience as an Athenian baseball player.
Yeah, so 1983, and I was told that I'm the oldest guy here, the oldest alumni. So that makes me feel good. The other thing is...
well, you're not really the oldest alumni. You are of Coach Froge's, but notice we had a couple of 47s.
Oh, good.
Announced here, and there's,
I'm glad they're here.
But you're not an old man, by the way.
Okay. The other thing is, the team today is wearing uniforms from my junior and senior year, and they're calling them throwback uniforms, which makes me feel even older, Dan. So not a good retro throwback. Still make me feel old. So not a good start to the day. But I did get to talk to Coach Froge for about 20 minutes. Great to talk to him. Great that we're having this day for him. And you know, I clearly remember a lot of things from '82 and '83 when he first came on. First of all, the thing about Coach Froge is he wasn't much. He was about the same age as we were when he came in. So I mean, we went through a lot of things with Coach Froge that guys in his later years wouldn't. Like he would ask us, "Hey, Craig, what kind of shaving cream should I use? Do you know how to tie a tie? How do you drive a car?" So
he was just fresh out of Anderson College.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. But in all sincerity, I noticed right away he came in and really changed the culture of Crawfordsville baseball. It was all about hard work and dedication. We were talking about how he would have 5:30 a.m. practices. So, a kid at age 15, 16 having to wake up that early and go to the old high school over on East Jefferson Street. And there was really no reason to bring my mitt. I mean, all we did was run. So running at 6 in the morning, but he was really into hard work. And I think every guy that's gone through this program can attest to the fact that hard work really paid off. And I mean, with all the state championships and conferences that conference championships that he's had, I mean, that's all based on his leadership and the hard work of these guys that have gone through this program. So, you know, I live in the Indianapolis area now, and occasionally I'll run by someone in high school baseball, come up, hey, where did you play? And every time I say I played baseball in Crawfordsville, the first thing they would come back and say is, that Coach Froge is hard to beat. So he's really turned Crawfordsville into a baseball factory.
Yeah, hey, that's a great recognition, Craig.
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing that up because, you know, I look at a lot of things, not just the fact that this program wins and wins and wins, but this is one of the neatest high school baseball fields in the state of
Absolutely.
Indiana for sure.
It's beautiful.
And you know, I tell you, it would not be that way if it were not for Coach Froge making sure that his players have you know, excellent situations. Uniforms have always been great, and the other thing that has been really unique around here has been the spring trips that we've been taking for quite a number of years, going down to southern Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and it just, you know, that's a part of his input into this total program that we've had. So.
Yeah, he's definitely developed this. This is definitely the field that Froge built. There's no question about it, and it's clear that it's only because he cares.
Well, you played a lot of games over on the other one, over at Baldwin Field, and a little bit different.
Yeah, love Baldwin Field with the hill and left field. But yeah, you know, I was just thinking also, just Coach was always the last one that wanted to leave practice. If anybody wanted to take extra batting practice, that's one thing I remember from the 80s. He was never in a hurry to go home. So, you know, on a lot of those days, he would come to the school at 5:30 in the morning, and his day would go until 8 o'clock. So if that's not the definition of dedication and hard work, I don't know what is. But I'll tell you the other thing that John really doesn't get credit for, we talk a lot about baseball, but he was a great accounting teacher. And to this day, I think I've balanced every checkbook every month, and I told him that, and he was excited. He was like, yeah, that's good to hear. So just a great all-around leader, great for Crawfordsville High School, obviously, and just, again, great for every kid that's gone through this program.
Well, listen, I talking to you earlier, we're glad to hear that Mom and Pop are doing well. I'm sure there are many people around that still remember and have had the care from Doc Warburton, and so we're really glad to hear that news. And of course, they're living over in Indy also.
Yes.
And,
Yep. They had some great times watching ball games with you and Judy.
Well, we appreciated those times, I'll tell you, and they were special times, Craig. And you know, don't want to forget either, that Eagles program actually came on and won a state championship as well as our Athenians. So,
yeah.
And it was in great part due to the fact we had Athenians on that Eagles team, obviously.
Good mix. We had a lot of good Mounties on that team, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, Athenians, I don't know whether you're aware of this, they did accomplish another county championship this week, as they were able to sweep the Chargers and make it a county championship week. But this is a different game than we've seen this year. We're really taking it on the chin out here.
Yeah.
This is the longest inning, obviously, we've faced of the season.
Yeah, well.
But, you know, that's the fault of another Athenian, Courtney
Yeah.
Whitehead,
Yep, he's
mentor for the Panthers there.
Park Tudor has a very good team. And I understand we have some big games coming up, so
we are still in the conference hunt, so you're right on.
Yeah.
Well, what else can you add to the Athenian history here as far as baseball?
You know, just the other thing I was really impressed with when I was talking to Coach before I came up here is, you he remembered what happened to the '82 team. He remembers how that season ended. A guy named Jamie Welliver, you familiar with that name?
No.
Beat us 1-0. He beat Mike Reth in the sectional. And then I'm like, John, what happened in '83? And I remember '83 because I was there, and it was a horrible experience. But he said, yep, he goes, we beat North Montgomery in game 1 of the sectional, and we thought that was the team to beat to win the whole thing.
Yep.
Then we got beat by a team that we beat during the regular season 15-2. Western Boone Stars got beat by them 4-3, and that game haunts me to this day, along with every other guy in the 1983 class. So.
Western Boone has been the worst nemesis we've had. In the last several years, we've had problems with a team that it looked like we should have been able to beat, and well, when it comes to sectional, it seems to be a different team.
Yeah, and that's when it matters, right?
Athletic Conference Championships, 5 sectional titles, 2 regional titles, and 1 semi-state championship. We also produced 5 Indiana All-Stars in Adrian Norris, Brandon Moore, Ross Wheeler, Andrew Swart, and Brett McKinney, along with 5 All-State players, including Brandon Moore, Cameron Hobson, Andrew Swart, Brett Lynn, and Stephen Rice.
Acknowledging a few of the Athenians attending today that from a little more recent team. Here's some more.
The class of 2006, Ross Wheeler. The class of 2008, Blake Harris, Cameron Hobson, and Justin Wright. In the class of 2009, Brett McKinney. Thank you to our alums from the 2000s for coming today.
All right, Craig, where are you in your career right now?
I am on the tail end of it. I'm on my 26th year with AT&T. Live in Carmel now. My beautiful wife Diane's down there, and we have two beautiful girls that look like their mom. Thank goodness.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but actually, how. What are their ages?
Katie just finished her junior year at Ball State.
Okay.
And Tara is going into the 6th grade in Carmel.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I knew you had one young one yet.
Yeah. They both loved volleyball, and I've turned into a volleyball coach. I've coached softball. I've coached a lot of sports that I knew nothing about.
Okay.
But good time doing it. And I understand Coach Froge is coaching his granddaughter's softball teams now.
He is indeed, yes.
Yeah, so he can't stay away from it. But the other thing, the last thing I just wanted to add about Coach, I mean, just again, he's done so much for Crawfordsville with the success of the program, and again, just look at this field. It's magnificent, and we just can't thank him enough for all the great memories. And it's just so impressive that he not only remembers the good things, but he remembers the bad things, and he remembers every guy that's gone through here. Yeah, people. Yeah, not just players, but probably parents as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's got to be a number well into the thousands, right? Yeah.
Sure.
So it's been good.
Thanks. Hey, by the way, look like you're in great shape.
Well, thank you.
I know you probably work on it. Having your father as a doctor, you're a great example of health.
Well, thank you very much. I
Craig Warburton,
that means a lot coming from a guy like you, Mr.
I
Welder.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I appreciate it, Craig.
All right.
Have a good day. All right, Caleb Coons at the plate. The Athenians' largest deficit of the year, I believe, here at this point, down 11-0. Big 9-run 4th inning for the Panthers.
Should we try and interview all 3 of them at once, or just one at a time?
I tell you what. Bring them up. I'll give them a headphone and they can pass it around. How's that? We're going to try to multiple interview here. So, hang on just a second.
Okay, you guys want to come up? We can probably just pass this around and interview at once. Okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Coons. We've got 3.
He'll handle. Just pass it around.
Can you hear me when I talk to you without that on, or you want to? However you want to do it, I don't care. But we've got 3 seniors from the 2012 class, part of the state championship team in 2011. One of my favorite players, Joel Hobson, Caleb Rasmussen, also one of my favorite players. And Craig Brainerd is down here making his way up here. So, guys, I mean, just kind of I'll talk. We'll pass it around here in a minute. But Joel, tell us a little bit about what's going on in your world right now.
I am newly engaged last year, so living in Avon, getting married at the end of this year. Working in downtown, working from home right now, but yeah, that's about it. So
The shortstop, Kale Corsi.
2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. So then we got. We'll get you introduced first, then we'll just work it back and forth here. Pass it to Caleb there, Caleb Rasmussen. Caleb, I think this is Avon theme right here, I guess. Your address is Avon too, right?
That's
so
correct.
Fill us in what's going on in your life.
Yeah, I also live in Avon, and the same. I'm recently engaged, just a month ago now, and I work for a company called Bloom Tech. It's a small company, and we travel around and install or design internet systems for hotels primarily.
Okay, so you get to see a lot of the country then. You don't just travel around like Indiana.
No,
you travel
all over the country.
all over the United States then,
Yep.
right then. So, well, great. All right, pass it to Craig. Craig's the old married guy here now then. Craig Brainerd. Tell us what's going on in your life now.
Well, I guess I'm the old married guy at just about a year. June 6th will be 1 year I've been married, and right now we live in Crawfordsville. My wife Deanna and I teach at Crawfordsville High School. Going on my 3rd year, and that's just about it. And I coach varsity tennis here, and I've also helped out with the middle school baseball program. So just staying involved and
that's great.
doing what we can.
We're glad to have you in the community. Oh, I'm going to listen to this, and then we'll get back to you guys.
Produced an overall win-loss record of 236 wins and just 80 losses. The championships continued with 7 conference championships, 4 sectionals, 2 regionals, 1 semi-state, and a 2nd state championship in 2011. The decade also saw the list of Indiana All-Stars grow with the addition of Stephen Rice, Corey Rice, Caleb Rasmussen, Jordan Jackson, Trent Johnson, and Cameron Saunders. The All-State players included Stephen Rice for a 2nd time, Jordan Jackson, Joel Hobson, Chris Minks, and Caleb Rasmussen. Those alumni in attendance from the 2010 to 2020 seasons: from the class of 2010, A.J. Ehrlich; class of 2011, Adam Beam, Jordan Tiger, and Corey Rice; the class of 2012, Craig Brainerd, Alex Ehrlich, Joel Hobson, and Caleb Rasmussen; the class of 2013, the recently engaged Jordan Jackson, Chase Justice, Logan Meadows, Cam Monroe, Chandler Purcell, Austin Turpin, and Jake Zyrowski. From the class of 2014, Shad Conrad, Nick Page. From the class of 2015, Brian Beam and Justin Raiders. The class of 2016, Weston Evans. The class of 2017, Caden Jones and manager Michael Smith. The class of 2019, Jake Decker and Cam Saunders. In the class of 2020, Cale McCarty, Owen Bennett, Carson Scott, and Gabe Joyner. Welcome to our alumni.
All right. Craig, you can keep it on there. We'll start with you. We've talked a lot about 2011. We don't want to focus on 2011, that year, how magical the offense was that year. So we think it all started how pathetic that West Lafayette game was. You remember that Caleb even got to pitch that West Lafayette game. It reminds me of some of those games you see in the Major League Baseball, where it gets out of hand and they just start everybody pitching. I think we pitched 8 pitchers that day or something like that. I don't remember. But it was like 18-1 or something like that, wasn't it? You guys remember?
I do.
So what happened after that? I mean, did that – because it seemed like, am I right, about right after that, you guys just started hitting the cover off the ball, it seemed like. So did anything happen?
I don't remember any specific conversations or anything like that, but I guess we just didn't want that to happen again. No, I think after that it just was like a rallying time, everybody started to work together really well, and there was really a team effort after that. Everybody kind of stepping up when their time came, and that's what I remember most about it. I'll pass it on to Joel. He looks like he's ready to share something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like Craig was saying, I don't think there was anything necessarily said, but I feel like our class and really our team was just like super confident as a whole. Like, even though we obviously got creamed and it was at home and just a bad game, we always felt like we could do it, and we put in the time and stuff. So, I think that's the biggest thing, is we just never got down on ourselves and just kept playing, and it worked out.
Well, I think that's, absolutely, that team, I've made the comment several times already today and when it was happening, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it was just like almost embarrassing when you guys, what you did to teams after that, because everybody stepped up to the plate. And I went back to the North Putnam game, which I think it might have been like shortly after that game possibly, but I just remember guys were hitting it over the fence, they were hitting the fence. It just seemed like everybody stepped up there was getting doubles and maybe, home runs or something, but the confidence that came from that just was contagious. You say it just everybody stepped up like, I got to get a hit, because everybody else is hitting almost. But it was fun to watch, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was certainly contagious. One of the things I think back to is like everyone had their own type of hitting, or like thinking back to like Alex, obviously
the magician
had to go from right to left.
The wizard. The wizard. There you go.
Yeah. Still hit in the 400s, just everyone got it done a different way.
Yeah. And we can't, as Caleb was putting the headset on, we certainly rode the arm of Corey Rice that year, and Kiger too. Jordan Kiger pitched when Corey wasn't. He pitched a lot of, and we just had Reese. We had Reese Herron. We had good pitching to go along with that, but the defense was behind him too. You guys made the plays that you had to make as well too.
Yeah, I think after the West Lafayette game, it's just something that we knew that we could do. Just having the confidence, the amount of swings we put in throughout the winter. And then it's just about us being competitive, whether it be against the opponent, but then I think also, with each other. You see, everybody down the lineup's getting hits. You don't want to be the person not to.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helps, when we're facing a pitcher, they know they don't have a break. They let someone on, then it doesn't matter. The lineup turns over. It's everybody's going to hit, so they can't afford to pitch around anybody.
Well, I remember that year, shortly after that West Lafayette game, maybe that was, we had the Athenian Invitational here, and we played Westfield here. And I don't know how many home runs we hit that day, but it seemed like that was maybe that was the turning point, was that day possibly, because we beat a good Westfield team here. I think they only had like one run, but we beat them soundly. So, as you say, just started getting confident in things. So take us back to 2011 through the whole tournament run, though, I guess. Really, you had a great run. We had the semi-state game down at Plainfield where we were down to Edgewood, and Kiger hits a 3-run homer, right?
Yeah,
we were down
1-0
or 2-0, or I forget what it was at that point, maybe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But then Kiger hit the bomb, and that just seemed to ignite everybody after that.
Yeah, along those lines, we knew when Corey was pitching that we didn't have to score very many runs. But we also knew that if, we kept it close, we were always one hit away. And then whether it be someone different, someone stepped up, and like you said, that provided that spark. And then we knew, all right, here we go. Let's go as a team. And after we got the lead, we never learned back, because we knew that with Corey pitching, and I think Kiger came in and closed, that game.
Yeah.
And we were going to make the plays no matter what.
Yeah. So, anything stand out? I mean, your favorite memory or just something that stood out in your time with Crawfordsville baseball?
I think in general standing out is just, I think, overall our success. We had some bumps in the road, but just the whole process of, what we did and the work we put in, together and the bonding and, the life lessons. But I also loved when we got the tarp out and did the slip and slide for
that was
practice.
Your comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen very often, did it? Really, I don't think.
Once. After sectionals our junior, senior year, we did it once.
I think the way Coach Roach took care of his field, that was a very rare occurrence. But I was thinking about that the other day, Caleb. Going back to Jordan's home run, that was one of my favorite memories. I think during that whole season in the state run, that was kind of the one time that we were just like, all right, I don't know who's going to step up in this. And Jordan Kiger, one of the least likely suspects, he came in and nailed that
and
ball.
He tomahawked it, as I remember. It was kind of a high pitch, and he just kind of tomahawked that thing.
Only home run of the year.
Really?
It was like perfect timing, and that was, I think after that, there was no question once we got to the state game that even though we were down at an instant, it was like, we got this. Like somebody's going to step up, and I think everybody when they got up wanted to be that person. So it was just like, yeah, that's what I remember is just the energy through all that, and that's just great to hold on to because it really was a team effort the entire way. That's probably the thing I remember the most about that season.
Well, that seems to be the common denominator every time that anybody so far has talked about successful teams. It's that chemistry or camaraderie, togetherness, whatever you want to call that. Is you just got to have that to be successful, and anything really, not just sports. I mean, marriages, you got to have good teamwork. You got to be willing to sacrifice, right? Admit when you're wrong. Even when you're not wrong, it's good to admit that you were probably wrong. So, So Joel, what are you thinking about the favorite memory then?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, mine was pretty along the same lines as Craig. I think that whole run from sectional to state was. We were obviously clicking, and like sectional, we just kind of we were so confident. We knew we rolled through. I think we 10-run rule both teams in 5 innings, and regional had been the the place where we'd always struggled. It always got close, but couldn't get past that. And I feel like once we did that, we knew, we knew we could do it. But yeah, I think thinking back to like what Craig said about Kiger's home run, I think that was the one point where we were like, I think it was probably the 5th inning. It was late in the game. I mean, 4th or 5th inning, and we had just gone. We had that lineup was like 5 guys hitting like 500, right around 500 in a row, and then Kiger was up, and they had that guy. I think we had 2 guys on immediately, and then I think I might have struck out or something, and then Kiger comes up, and we're like, wow, I mean 2 outs, like we need to score here, and I don't even think like he really wasn't a home run hitter, like he never got close, but man,
good hitter. I mean, good solid hitter.
He was a line drive hitter up the middle, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I think that was the single most like excitement and like energy I felt in the whole thing, like. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, like, Chris's 2 home runs and state were huge. It's just everyone stepped up in different games.
Yeah, again, that's the sign of a good team is somebody stepping up to, either get a hit or make a play. We talked about the 2008 team. I remember because the first time you do anything, you remember it more. So I have a lot of memories about that 2008 game where we struck out 21 batters, we struck out 17 batters.
All Crawfordsville baseball alumni in attendance, please join us on the field.
Oh. Well, these guys are going to have to go. They're being summoned to the field. So thanks for taking time out for coming up here, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that does it on the ball game. 11-0 shutout to Park Tudor victory. So they're going to start introducing the team. So we're going to just let you enjoy that while we're listening as well.
Good job, Darryl. I remember doing double interviews. I'm not sure we'd ever done a triple before. Maybe so. I don't remember it, though.
A new challenge.
Well, we got a nice crowd here, and we're going to have a ceremony here very shortly, I think. It'll be basically conducted by PA announcer David Raynard. But really good to have those kids up here. I say kids, but you know, that's only because I'm twice as old as almost all of them and 3 times as old as several of them. So anyway, we got a good crowd coming onto the field of ex-Athenian baseball players. So Bob Taylor, believe it or not, Bob Taylor's down there with the camera. Can you believe that? Susan Ehrlich looks like she's all set to do some handouts. She's, as we said, put together a great booklet. And again, if you are an Athenian fan, this would be well worth seeing if you can find a copy. So we said there were 200 copies here today, I believe, and they may have been all given out, but you might want to check and see if it would be possible to get a copy.
Dan, you mentioned Susan Ehrlich and Bob Taylor, and we would also mention Joe Boswell. The photographers and the camera, I mean, you just can't imagine how appreciative as parents that we are for that, because you get all the pictures you want, all the videos you want, and you can sit there and enjoy the game. You don't have to have a camera trying to capture your own memories. They're doing a much better job than I could have anyway, but it's just so awesome. We can see a lot of the alumni out on the field, and then Coach Frodes there with his family along the third base line. And you can't see it on camera, but Mike Zyrowski is over here waving the Crawfordsville flag.
At this time, I would like to read a very fitting tribute.
All right, we'll turn it over here to
by Coach
Dave Raynard.
Coach Froge's father-in-law. Athenian baseball coach John Froge, 1982 to 2019. As a young boy, John and his family moved several times before settling down on 47 South in Crawfordsville, Indiana. As time went by, John and his 2 brothers became very good athletes at Southmont High School. John's 2 brothers specialized in basketball, but John, a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, and baseball, had fallen in love with the game of baseball. Before graduating, our daughter, Debbie, a year younger than John, started bringing this young man to our home. It did not take Judy and I long before we recognized that John Froge was a great young man who loved the Lord, loved baseball, and possibly loved our daughter. After graduating from Southmont, John chose to attend Anderson University and major in business. Anderson was a Christian-based college with a good baseball program. His coach, Don Brandon, became a major mentor and significant influence on John's coaching career. Even though John wasn't on the field all the time, his 4 years as part of the Anderson baseball program was an important part of his growth in the game of baseball. After graduation from Anderson, John signed a teaching contract with Southmont, but by the end of the first semester, there was an opening at Crawfordsville High School. Thus, in 1983, John began his career as a business teacher and baseball coach here at CHS. Over the years, John and I had talked many hours of baseball. Since both of us were Reds fans, much of our talk centered around Cincy. But since I had spent over a decade as an assistant baseball coach, a lot of our talk was centered around what it would take to get Crawfordsville baseball to the next level. In 1982, John began the process of building a baseball program. He probably didn't realize it at first, but the first cog in the wheel, his wife Debbie, would be there to put together yearbooks, paint Athenian logos on the dugout or on the field, plan and prepare team meals, etc., etc., etc. In the early years, Coach Froge did not have immediate success in terms of wins or losses. as he was able to convince his players of the importance of hard work and paying attention to the details of the game. Many of his players will remember standing for a lesson in hitting, base running, etc., expecting a 7 to 8 minute lesson, which oftentimes would end up 2 to 3 times that in length. Another step forward in the program was the addition of another Southmont baseball player as assistant coach, Rhett Welliver. Rhett was able to expand the pitching performance of the Athenian pitching staff. As important as any component was the development of the CYB, Crawfordsville Youth Baseball Program. John was instrumental in getting knowledgeable people involved in the program to organize, coach, and finance the program. For the first time, teams were able to play better competition by inviting out-of-town opponents and going out of town to improve their baseball experience. By the 90s, things were beginning to change. There were conference championships, sectional and regional champions, ranked as high as #1 in the state, and 20 wins per season. Things continued to improve through the 21st century until in 2008, the Athenians won their first state championship, followed shortly by a second state championship in 2011. Since that time, the Athenians won 5 more Sagamore Athletic Conference championships, 2 sectionals, and 1 regional, plus being ranked in the top 3 in the state 7 times. Excellence continued until COVID-19 stopped high school baseball in 2020. The components of Athenian baseball success were hard work, exemplary by the coaches, the vision that Athenian baseball could be the best, and playing the game the Froge way. Credit Coach Froge with being able to reach the highest goals because of his ability to raise expectations of his players to a higher level. We would all agree that winning has been great. However, I am sure that John would say that teaching his players to be great young men on and off the diamond is even more important. One other recognition, the beautiful field that you see here today, one of the very best high school diamonds in Indiana, would not be so if it were not for Coach Froge's many hours of personally manicuring the field, getting the new backstop, a dugout-to-dugout brick wall, just to name a few. It's hard to imagine that any coach could have such an extended reign of success. It is fair to say that number 14 did it all. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach John Froge.
This time I'd like to invite former athletic director Bruce Whitehead to come up and make a few remarks about Coach Froge.
Appreciate the opportunity, Bryce, even though I'm wearing the colors of the other team.
Always an Athenian.
You know, Crawfordsville baseball has been documented tonight, has had a rich tradition since the post-war 1940s. And Ralph, if you're still here, I'm so glad to see. Hope I get to. Where's he at? I gotta say hi to Ralph before this thing's over. But in I guess it was the summer of 1981. We had a business opening and a head baseball opening, and Dr. Daly and Mr. Gallagher and I probably raised some eyebrows in the Crawfordsville community when we made the decision to turn the baseball program over to a young pup 1 year out of Anderson University, and with no pedigree and no track record as a varsity baseball coach. But in standing here today, I think that decision probably made the three of us look like geniuses, and John was responsible for that. John really had, and he would be the first to tell you, he had a lot of good players. But good players don't necessarily make good teams. And John and Rhett and the rest of John's staff over the years took those good players and taught them the finer points of playing the game of baseball the right way. And because of that, and because he asked those young men to excel on the field and play according to what they were taught, those great players became very good teams, as evidenced by the fact of what you have witnessed over the years. But that's probably second to a couple of other characteristics of John that were very special to me. First, obviously, John is a great, strong man of strong faith who loves our God deeply. And second, and most importantly, John only demanded his players to be as excellent as they could be between the lines, but he also demanded that they be as good as they could be in the classroom and in the community. And that's most important. So just let me say, on behalf of all those young men, that you had an impact on making them positive citizens in our society today, John. Thank you.
So I wrote my notes out because I don't have as long of a tenure as Mr. Whitehead at public speaking. So I want to take this opportunity to personally thank Coach Froge for all that he's done, not only for Crawfordsville baseball, Crawfordsville athletics, but our community. Coaches, umpires, athletic directors, high school sports fans from Fort Wayne to Evansville, Gary to Lawrenceburg know about Crawfordsville, and that's because of our baseball program. They know he did it the right way. They know we played hard. Coach Froge made everyone around him better. He made his coaching staff better coaches and mentors. Coach gave them professional development opportunities, taught them how to be positive role models for our student athletes, and conducted themselves as gentlemen almost all the time. He made the fellow coaches in our athletic department better by giving them a guide of developing talent in the elementary, providing them playing opportunities, seeing it through in the middle school, and then refining those skills at the high school level. Coach did it the way that all head coaches should try to do it. He made me a better athletic director by making me think outside the box and outside of my comfort zone. He pushed me to be better with my mentorship of young coaches who came through the athletic department. So to you, I personally say thank you. Finally, the purpose of interscholastic athletics is to raise young men and women to be better husbands and wives, parents, responsible employees who show up to work every day on time, and quality members of society who can give back to the communities that they live in. Each baseball player and manager who entered the CHS baseball program left Crawfordsville High School in a better place, as a better player and a better person. Look around today at the quality of young men and women who are part of the CHS baseball program. We are all better because of you. On behalf of Crawfordsville High School, I want to say thank you for the time and talents you shared with us. Thank you to Debbie, Brandon, Brittany, for sharing you with CHS for 39 years. We are all in a better place because of you. This time, we'd like to present Coach Froge with a jersey displaying his name and his signature number 14, Crawfordsville Athenian jersey. No other Athenian baseball player or coach will ever wear the number 14 jersey again. It is my distinct honor, along with Mr. Whitehead's, in saying that the number 14 baseball jersey is officially retired from Crawfordsville baseball. And congratulations on a tremendous teaching and coaching career. We would also like to unveil a banner in the left field fence that says Coach Froge and the number 14 for all to see.
Okay, at this time, are we going to honor the players that are in attendance of the 2011 team, or let Coach Froge have the mic?
Well, I'm Brett Moats, and obviously the next head coach after Coach Froge has a little bit to live up to. No pressure feeling whatsoever right now. I do want to speak on behalf of our alumni here, because I know most of these guys, and I know they feel the same as I do. Coach, as we prepared for this day, many of us are reminded of the countless hours you have spent investing in young men, all standing right here. The results, hundreds of men who are leaders in their chosen businesses, good fathers, good husbands. Thank you for making us a priority in your life. The world is a better place because of the influence you've had on us. And that's obviously spoken from me, but I'm sure felt by all of these guys up here. Finally, we wanted to do something special for you. So, as a gift of all the years of service, and I know it might be minimal to a few, but I know it'll be a fun trip for you. We are going to send you and Debbie to your favorite Major League Baseball team down in Cincinnati for a 2-game series with the Brewers. The series is July 10th, July 11th. Your gift will also include a hotel stay, and we're hoping breakfast on Sunday morning with a special guest. So on behalf of the alumni, coaches, and everybody standing here, thank you again for your amazing service to us. Very much appreciated. And at this time, I know Coach Froge has never been short of words, but that is why he is such a good teacher. I would like for you to say a few words.
His first mistake, he didn't give me a time limit. Guys are getting very...
That's it.
Battery go dead.
Test. I guess that would probably be fitting. Honestly, maybe the first time in my life on a baseball field, very unprepared. I'm overwhelmed, so bear with me for just a couple minutes. Guys, I mean, that's what it was all about. Relationships. First thing I walked in today, just getting goosebumps, just seeing the guys, and some of them I haven't seen. It really, truly was about relationships with the players, the families. The families were awesome over the years. It takes a lot of things for a person to stay with it as long as I was able to, and that was a big part of it. It's such a joy to work here and to be a part of the Crawfordsville High School community. To get to work for an entire career, 4 decades, with only 2 athletic directors, Mr. Whitehead and Mr. Barton, was pretty amazing in itself. Had wonderful administrators, and most of all, my family. Not every coach, and I've talked to hundreds and thousands of them over the years, have totally supportive families, and it takes a lot of support. And Debbie's, as mentioned earlier, has been behind me 100% the entire time. In fact, most of my career, she was right alongside, absolutely part of the program, until she got involved a little bit more in softball as Brittany began coaching. But, Brandon and Brittany, and now the grandkids and Josh, it's just been a family thing for sure. And a great career and a great place to raise your kids. My 2 kids were pretty much raised on this field and in Baldwin Field, and I've seen lots of benefits come from that. So overall, more than anything, and I was taught by this by all the adults in my life growing up, is if you choose to do something, just give everything you got and do the very best you can. And that's all I ever tried to do. I was the players in the 80s a few times in different ways for not being a better coach, but it took some time, for sure. but just always wanted to work as hard as I could. Was very fortunate to have assistants all these years that were just about as crazy as I was. Brett, being amongst the chief ones, and then lots of former players come back to coach over the years, and then of course I believe he is as crazy as I am in regard to field maintenance. I heard something about a tweet or something late last night of you still on the baseball field, so I thank you. I thank all the coaches. I can't begin to name names of everyone, but I think left the program knowing how much I care about them, and how much I love them, and how much I wish them nothing but the best as they go forward. It was always my desire when they left here that somehow, some way, if it was just a small way, to be a better man than they were when they started in the program. So I hope in some way we were able to contribute. But I think most of them would say we were a family. We did things together. They were dedicated, committed, team-oriented, and I can't thank them enough for that. I guess it'd be nice if I could face them, but if I turn around, the mic stops. So, okay. Anyway, I'll finish up here, so don't get nice. But it's just been a joy beyond recognition. Give most the thanks to my Lord and Savior for directing my path, putting me here, keeping me here all these years. I thank every one of you here, not here, that had a small part in all of this, and there are a bunch of you. And so I thank you for that greatly. And it's been an outstanding day, and I thank you for it, Brett, and the coaches, and Bryce, and everybody who put this together, for sure. Thank you very much.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 10-year anniversary of the 2011 Class 3A State Championship team. First up, Adam Beam. Adam is a medical device sales manager and lives in Tacoma, Washington with his wife, Paige. His favorite CHS baseball memory is the community support during the championship run and winning the L.B. Phillips Mental Attitude Award. Adam Beam. Jordan Kiger. Jordan works at Norcoat International here in Crawfordsville, and his favorite CHS baseball memory is hitting a big home run in the 2011 semi-state game. Jordan Kiger. Next up, Corey Rice. Corey works at Acuity Brands Lighting and Rice Painting here in Crawfordsville, and his favorite CHS baseball memory was being on the field with his brother JD and his cousin Steven, and of course being the winning pitcher in the state championship game. Corey Rice. Craig Brainerd. Craig is an English teacher here at Crawfordsville High School and lives in town with his wife, Deanna. His favorite CHS baseball memories were coming from behind to beat Bloomington South in the rain, Jordan Kiger's 3-run home run to give us the lead in the semi-state, and that entire 2011 season, which was a total team effort. Craig Brainerd. Alex Ehrlich. I still refer to Alex as the Wizard. The man could do things with a baseball bat that was just unbelievable. Alex is a teacher here at Crawfordsville High School and lives here in town. His favorite CHS baseball memories were celebrating with friends and family after the championship game, spring break hotel room shenanigans, and hitting the bottom of the fence during the senior home run derby contest. Warning track power, Alex Ehrlich. Joel Hobson. Joel is an integration consultant at UKG and lives in Avon, Indiana. and is engaged to be married to Lauren Zyrowski. I hope I said that right. His favorite CHS baseball memory was the entire tournament run from the sectional to state and how the team was so confident and that everyone made big plays throughout the tournament. Joel Hobson. Caleb Rasmussen. Caleb works at Bloomtech LLP and lives in Avon, Indiana, and is engaged to be married to Val Gaeta. His favorite CHS baseball memory was getting the tarp out and wetting it down for sliding practice. Caleb Rasmussen. Next up, Jordan J.J. Jackson. Jordan is a sales representative at Rehab Medical Incorporated and lives in Florence, Kentucky with his fiancee and CHS alum, Kimberly Hampton. JJ's favorite CHS baseball memories were catching the last out of the state championship game and seeing Coach Froge wear his hat backwards on the bus ride home. Jordan Jackson. Chase Justice. Chase is a teaching assistant at the Claiborne County Board of Education, Tennessee, and lives with his wife Morgan and son Bo in Middlesboro, Kentucky. His favorite CHS baseball memory was finishing Kiger's no-hitter in his first varsity game at Tri-West. Chase Justice. Logan Meadows. Logan is a firefighter EMT with the Crawfordsville Fire Department and is an assistant coach with the Athenian Junior Varsity Baseball Program and lives here in Crawfordsville. His favorite CHS baseball memory was the thousands of bullpens caught throughout his career. Logan Meadows. Cam Monroe. Cam is currently a singer-songwriter and lives in Nashville, Tennessee with his wife, Ellen. His favorite CHS baseball memory, other than winning the state championship, was his first home run ever his senior year, a grand slam against Greenwood here at home. Cam Monroe. Chandler Purcell. Chandler is an account executive at Simple Life Eye and lives in Carmel, Indiana. His favorite CHS baseball memory is catching a knee to the face from Alex Ehrlich in the dog pile at Victory Field. Chandler Purcell. Jake Zyrowski. Jake is a creative arts and communications director at Redeemer Bible Church and lives in Greenwood, Indiana with his wife and CHS alum Olivia Stevens Zyrowski. His favorite CHS baseball memory was fielding the first and last outs of A.J. Ehrlich's perfect game in 2010. Jake Zyrowski. And lastly, Nick Page. Nick is a claims adjuster at Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and also lives in Avon, Indiana. We have a theme going here. His favorite CHS baseball memory was every spring break baseball trip. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Page. Your 2011 Class 3A state champs.
This could be dangerous. No, seriously, and I'd said this in print a few times. You guys, we talked about winning the state championship, didn't we? It was always their dream. And for a team to be far enough along and good enough to even discuss that was huge. Went into most seasons talking about a state championship. We wanted to play at Victory Field. It even got to the point where guys, I couldn't get them to intersectional wins, regional wins. They said, we're not dogpiling until at least semi-state. I said, guys, you got to learn to enjoy every step of the way. This doesn't happen like magic. And that in 08, when that was for all the teams that came before. And I really mean that, because we had some teams good enough. But even those teams that didn't win, all of you, as said in Hoosiers, you're all champions in my book. And I really mean that. And that was just icing on the cake, these championships that we won. Throw out a couple amazing stats, though. In 2011, when we went 14-0 in conference, we outscored our opponents 14 games. 167-7. And we had at least four no-hitters. It was a truly dominant performance. To this day, Chris Minks is still the only player to hit 2 home runs in the state championship game in getting close to 55 years of the state tournament, which is pretty amazing. We all remember that for sure. A great team, well-deserved. And we always told them, if you work hard, give everything you got, and work together as a team, you'll have memories for a lifetime. And I think they would all say that that's true. Everyone in here. So thank you.
I did need to add one thing. I forgot to mention that Logan Meadows is single, ladies. So if you're out there, Logan Meadows, Crawfordsville's most eligible bachelor.
What do you think, Daryl? Did we miss anything? Actually, you know, I had written that little piece that they played.
By the way, that was really great.
And I said my problem was I had too much information. Maybe Coach Froge takes a little after me, or I take a little after him, but you know, I could have written something there that nobody could have stayed. But I thought of all the things I did leave out. For example, you know, I might have mentioned the spring trips that we've taken, which is kind of unique and a great thing that I think added to the family atmosphere of the program. Coach Froge getting to coach his own son right here, and outstanding teams during those years. The fact that he was able to, in the summertime, 2 seasons coaching his daughter Brittany in the highest level of travel softball all over the country, and you know, I just kept going through things and marking things out as it were. But anyway, I would say, like a lot of the things that I know that I wanted to talk about, for example, all the record kind of things that are in this book, but players that weren't here today that we didn't mention, some of the highest to go along with Cameron Hobson, for example, Matt McCarty, for example. I would say, obviously, even though he's been much in the ceremony here today, but Brett Moats, obviously, some of the greatest players that we've had of all time. And so when you do something like this, you start mentioning names, you're always afraid you're going to leave somebody out. And so that's kind of where I was going to start with. There's that with all that we did, there's still things that have been unsaid and maybe undone today. But what a great ceremony it's been. What a great day it's been. Kind of makes you forget the score of the ball game. Even.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, what a great day. So good to see Coach Froge out here with his former players. And I got a little choked up watching Coach out there thinking, that he's not coaching anymore.
But he is coaching.
He's coaching softball.
He's got granddaughters, my great-granddaughter, his granddaughters, and very much involved with a good level of 12 and under fast pitch softball. We're back to our PA.
One more time, can I have your attention? Coach Froge would like to recognize the class of 2020 that was robbed of their senior year. Those guys that are in attendance today are Cale McCarty, Franklin College football player, by the way, go Grizz. Owen Bennett, Carson Scott, and Gabe Joyner. It would have been so nice to see those guys get to play their senior year. They were definitely some ball players. Thank you to the class of 2020, the COVID class.
Yeah, that is. Not only were they not able to play introducing the class of 2020 last year, but also not getting to have their recognition at senior night, and just missed out on so many things, as did a lot of, obviously all throughout the country, things like that. But nice to honor them here today.
Well, I kind of looking around here, I don't see anyone pointed this way for interviews. I didn't know what the post-ceremony plans were, but
well, I'm sure I could, if you want, I could go down and grab some.
Well, yeah, we could probably. But maybe you and I ought to try to go get something to eat.
I think that sounds even better.
How about that? Well, listen, we're going to wrap it up here. Athenians losing today to Park Tudor by a score of 11-0. A ball game in which, and this is not an excuse, but which we were limited somewhat with what we could do with pitching and probably added to it, but we couldn't put a run on the board, so that part of it wasn't.
I'm going to quote your son on that one. 2008 down at Greensburg, and we beat a very good Greensburg team 10-0 in 5 innings, and they had Alex Meyer, who went on to pitch in the Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
What could not pitch in that game?
Absolutely.
Because of a inning situation. One of the fans on the way, Rhett, your son, Coach Weller, was on the way up for the interview. One of the fans said, hey, we would have won if we'd have had Alex Meyer. And your son said, You gotta score to win. They weren't scoring against our pitcher, so.
Yeah. I tell you what, that reminds me of some other comebacks, but I won't get into that. Well, listen, Daryl, sure been good up here working with you, and you did a great job with a lot of those interviews that we had today. And we could have still been going if we'd had 7 innings. But that triple interview to finish, made it a good ending. Well, listen, we'll hope to, if you can't make it out here Monday, to have you join us on the webcast Monday, 6 o'clock, with a very important Sagamore Conference game against the Frankfurt Hot Dogs. So for Daryl and Austin, this is Dan Welver saying good afternoon and good Athenian baseball.